sure that there's millions of you out there that know how to do these things. And if you've got any advice, then please offer it. You can put it underneath in the comments. And yeah, we're just trying to go live for the first time ever to stream live. We've got something called Restream here, which will seamlessly go live with YouTube and Facebook. So yes, experimentation. So I'm here with my lovely friend Brigitte. And I don't know if you can see her. How's this been?
Maybe you, Juliet.
Yes.
Hello.
So,
and the recording button is not appeared. Oh, Joan Harris. Do vegans eat meat when drunk? You've got a comment, so you have gone live.
Oh, well, that I absolutely don't know. No idea. I don't know about. Anyway, so
I think we will make a pass on this comment because it's humoristic, and not sure about the drinking, but the drinking might bring the bubbles of joy, Joanne, into life right now. Yeah. So why not go for the bubbles? Yes, but may I suggest you find the spirit into what gives you joy today? Joanne Harris, what gives you joy today?
Yeah, so that's a really important question. So we are simultaneously recording this, and we're going to release it just as a video, but also we're going live with it. So it's just a big experiment. So this is the way Brigitte and I work. We tend to dabble around rather than be able to follow instructions on how to do something. So we're self-taught elders. Have you got something to say about that, Brigitte, that we're self-taught elders?
Yes, definitely self-taught elders, and still courageously, whenever there are updates or upgrades, we're still facing the major issues. I just wanted to say, I was brought up with an ink pen, having to dip the ink pen and making blotches on the paper and then getting finished. So computers is the most amazing tool. And what we're doing today is taking a lot of courage. So we are both very sober. However, we are very spirited and very bubbly.
Yeah, spirited elders. So to get to the more serious stuff is that both of us have been really deeply concerned with how people's mental health particularly, and how their joy is being really hit at the moment in time and diminished by the absolute insanity, the global psychosis that seems to be happening. And people, I work as a trauma therapist and teacher, and I'm having a lot of people come to me really deeply distressed. And Brigitte also, I think you're having similar experiences with people.
Definitely,
yeah,
definitely, and more people are really right now expressing. I mean, I live in Southwest France, but they're starting to express how much longer is this going to be manifesting. Now, before, there is always chaos when there's a storm. Before there is before the new can be created, often we see chaos manifesting. That is what we are seeing manifesting. And remember, what I want to give you is hope, even when there is a storm or a tsunami or a volcanic eruption. When it has gone to what the point it needed to reach, it will start calming down. And we are part of that. So how can you bring yourself to a place that feels calm? Is that with nature? So Juliet, bouncing back onto you.
Yeah, so it's all about having a a regulated nervous system and inner coherence, and to be able to bring down the levels of panic and fear that we're experiencing right now. And it's in our hands that we can do this. We're not helpless. We can really regulate our nervous systems and become calmer. And it can be difficult if we have a very high amount of trauma, a high amount of dysregulation. So nature is really, really profound in helping with that, because I don't know about you, Brigitte, but how I experience it when I go out in nature, immediate like settling, that feeling of relief at being in nature, and then I start to experience what's going on. I start to experience the trees, the wind, the sunshine, the sound of water. Excuse me. All those things begin to touch me and soothe my nervous system. So I'm a great believer in encouraging people to just step into nature if you're feeling really distressed.
That's very beautiful, Juliet. I have that same experience with nature, and my spirit lifts straight away because I have this very profound connection, even communion with the birds, the bees, the trees, the moss. Every time it's like the hidden worlds of the elementals and the tree beings, or whatever you want to call it. It's like I really feel at one, and straight away I am being resourced. Now, this is true for me, and this is truth for Juliet. But I know, and I've known people in my life, very close to me, who lived in cities and who felt highly activated when in nature. They couldn't cope with the sound of a bee. They couldn't cope with a little spider just crawling on the ground. So what is going to help you moment by moment move into that place where you feel, oh, I am safe. It's okay. I am safe. And what I would suggest is watch when you put your energy behind anything that starts what you call the butterfly. You get butterflies in your stomach. You want to know what's happening, so you might turn on the TV. Just stay away from what's going to activate you and get that butterfly feeling in your guts and make you move out of that place where maybe you woke up, the sun was shining, and you thought, oh, it's a new dawn. It's a new day. Let us hold gratitude.
Yeah, gratitude is really, really powerful and really important for regulating the nervous system. When we can get into that energy of gratitude, it makes such a difference. It's like it immediately we start thinking about what we enjoy and what we're grateful for, and the nervous system begins to calm down. And it's like, what are you grateful, for everyone who's watching, what are you grateful for today? What's touching your heart? What's bringing you joy in this moment? And it's really, it's really important to put yourself first, and give you those things that give you joy, and embrace those things that you're grateful for.
That's beautiful. That is very beautiful. And if I'm going to resonate with that, is I'm really grateful that I was able for 8 months of my life to just welcome, walk with a being from a different dimension. I called him Living Joy, him or her, and he was very wounded. But today, although he's no longer with me, so maybe he's flying on the peregrine falcon's wings, maybe he's flying with the buzzard. But this being was part of my life, and every day I had the privilege of watching its feathers grow, of witnessing how much trust it had of me, and how much compassion we had and love for each other. So that was a sentient being, a pigeon, highly intelligent. So what do you have in your life that can offer you just a little wisp of gratitude today? Maybe you're lying down, maybe you are sick, maybe you're in a hospital bed listening to this, sharing. Maybe you can move your little toe. Maybe suddenly someone is smiling at you. Just let's hold gratitude even for that is saying, I am part of this life. I am alive. And I'm unique on this world. And I'm sharing that uniqueness, even if it is only my little toe that's moving.
Yes, that's really important, isn't it? It's like when everything is normal and there's no stress and there's no pain, and it quite often we can not even appreciate the amazing things that we have. And now as we're coming under huge pressures, just to awaken again to this appreciation that that we have all sorts of things that, you know, maybe we're taken for granted. I came very close to death well, not very close, but were frightened for me when I had a heart infection. I was very ill for about 6 months. And I was so grateful, so hugely grateful when I recovered. But I worked really hard at my recovery. I was very proactive every day and did everything I could for my recovery, and was really immensely grateful and really deeply appreciate life. And I certainly want to live for a long time. I'm hoping that I live, you know, I'm hoping that I've got quite a lot of years ahead of me yet. How about you, Brigitte?
Oh, definitely. And I'm very touched with what you shared, because as I remember you, within those 6 months, we used to connect and speak together on a regular basis. That experience, I feel such a profound gratitude. I mean, you went through very close to dying. And I mean, Living Joy went to very close to dying. But it's that experience is part of life. Being there at that place, just on the edge of uncertainty. Is this being going to make it? Am I going to make it?
Yeah.
And when we surrender, that being trusted me.
Yeah, it's huge.
And you trusted the process. So can we trust what we don't fully understand, which is in a higher divine plan? Can we trust? Can you trust? Now you're listening. Is there a little part of you where you can trust that there is a hidden divine plan? And just staying with that little bit of, oh, I can trust even if I don't know the outcome. I am part of that. Unfolding, as I named it, unfurling. Like that beautiful being when its wings were growing the feathers so it could fly. Can we just trust that process? Like you trusted being in the hospital and saying no. You said no, like I said no.
Yeah, I needed
dying.
I said no to dying, and I was also told I needed open heart surgery, which I also said no to.
You see, that's a very profound statement when you're just on the edge of being told you've got a major infection and you can die. And you kept saying, well, no, I'm going to stay with the process and do the process. That's the work each one of us we need to do.
Yeah.
What is it that I need to explore and experience here?
It's very much about being proactive with our lives, isn't it? It's not just being a victim and just giving in and letting things roll over us. It's about holding that alignment to this higher plan, whether we know what it is or not. We can feel it in our bodies. We can feel what's right or not right in our bodies. Our connection with truth, it's very profoundly there when we can take time to align to ourselves, first of all, and we set time aside to be in nature or to be resourced, and we just really deeply tune into ourselves, to our heart, to our gut. That inner knowing is there, and when we can align to that, we don't need these kind of interventions. Like, health does not come through a needle. Health comes through. I
agree. I totally agree. The body has such a profound intelligence. I mean, it's one of the most highly evolved computer, if we're going to use internet terms with what is rolling out. You spoke of injection. Our computer is a divine. It's divine. Nobody will be able to, yes, let's call them whoever they are, playing at those games. We are divine beings. We have light holograms. But what I want to say, somebody's just come in saying, follow me, and his name is Philippe Chevalier. So I'm going to pick up your name, Monsieur Chevalier. The Chevalier is, there's two things, the horse. So I hope that you are riding in your freedom. And Chevalier, in the ancestral Middle Ages, was the knight in shining armor. So I trust, Philip, that you are a knight in shining armor, absolutely guiding those around you towards the highest light. Remember, knights, they vowed to serve the light. So I wish you that. So I'm sorry, Juliet, but I was just doing a little something with someone who came on with his name.
That's good. We're just learning here. We're just learning how to do these things because we really want to communicate out to a wider audience. We, as elders, we have some very important messages to share to you and some really important information. And we're really concerned about how everyone is at this moment, because we're witnessing a huge amount of fear in the collective, a huge amount of suffering going on. And it's just really agonizing to witness. And I'm just really committed to what I can do to help people in any way possible, keeping that in balance with taking care of myself as well, because taking care of your own self and your own sovereignty is really important. But that's my intention of increasing our outreach to people. So
the same, Juliet. So yes, and because of what's going on with an ongoing incoherence that has been taking place for over now a year and about 3 months, more or less, but it's been going on underneath. You know, we have had darker currents happening for those of us who are psychics or mediums. We have been tracking that for a hell of a long time. So what I wish to say right now, in resonance with what Juliet has said, is we are there. We really are fully committed 100% to offering support, to helping you to come back to coherence, so you can stay in your window of what you can tolerate. And right now we are on the edge of the abyss of what humanity can tolerate. But however, this is pushing us to a place where we are going to surrender to a much higher frequency of energies. So we are cosmologically shifting with a higher level of consciousness. And this is beautiful, because through all this very heavy, dense material being thrown at humanity, we are showing tremendous amount of resilience and solidarity and compassion for each other. And that's a profound gift. So I hold no judgments because I have compassion for all life. Why? Because I am aware everything that's rolling out and unfolding as a higher divine plan. That we are united. We are absolutely, you, Juliet, I, and everyone who is listening and who is going to listen. Hello, beautiful Emin Ari, Nabion B. Hello, I welcome you on Juliet's beautiful sharing today with Mabi. We're both elders in the highest sense of the word, elders who want to really be there, holding our light, shining the path. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, mentally distressed, we are there. In ourselves, we are doing the process. We have done the process. And the process is about not projecting, not doing judgments, staying aligned, nurturing ourselves emotionally, resourcing ourselves. So that's what I wanted to share. So beautiful, Emin, you're welcomed. I hope you can understand English.
Yes. Staying aligned, being on the edge of the precipice, huge global transformation happening, and it's as scary as anything for many people. Not knowing what's happening is really, can be really terrifying. And just to emphasize again, to turn off the TVs, to not look at the newspapers, to trust your inner knowing, to resource yourself, and to know that we're going through this huge transformation at the moment, and we need to keep our minds clear and to be aware of how easily our minds can be influenced and manipulated by programming. In the UK, we have we have the Behavioural Insights team that's directing our governments on how to get us to make the responses that the government wants, or the reactions, the fear reactions that the government wants. So try and keep yourself clear of that. You need, if you're going to be sovereign, you need to turn off that TV and turn off other sources of mainstream media that's seeking to influence your mind. I was really surprised the other day, Brigitte. I looked into CGI, which is how to completely create a video that looked like it was real for people, to create people, well-known people like politicians, to say things and do things that's completely fiction. They can just put it together so it looks like, oh, we've got somebody speaking to us. And they're not at all. It's just completely fabricated.
Yeah, it's a hologram.
It's incredible.
It is just amazing, Juliet, what the technology. But what is important with what you just shared is this is going to push us to the, like you shared earlier on, to the edge of the abyss, was where we each are going to have to say what is truth and what is fake. And there's going to be a tremendous amount. It was written in all the texts of there will be false prophets, fake prophets. And with internet, this is so easy to do. It's so easy, you know. It's if you look at films and film casts, how easy it is to make you feel terrified by showing you a hologram, you know, or a holographic monster. And then you get activated thinking it's a real one, but it's only a film or a drama or a piece of music that frightens you. So we really need to reassure our nervous system and make sure we are the best programs we have ever watched. Mother Nature, friends, family are the best ever programs. we have ever followed. Not some of those programs where you feel totally hooked. So when you're hooked, it means you want to see the next episode and the next episode. But as soon as that happens, you're hooked. You've been trapped. Your energy now is being put behind that.
Yeah, totally.
And sorry, go on, Juliet.
No, absolutely right what you're saying.
And as you start moving away from what I call being anesthetized, and it's like suddenly you need that drug. It's like taking sugar every day. Your brain starts changing and needs it. It's like you start feeding within your body the beings, I mean, whatever you want to call them. I mean, medically, it's not called beings, but the cells really are going to thriving off that sugar. It's the same with television. And on top of that, you get the adverts that come and roll. And without you knowing it, your brain, your microchip, you're being computerized. You are being formatted. Now, for those of you who know about computers, you know what I'm talking about going into settings and choosing. It's the same right now. What's been going on for the last 50, 60 years is through media, slowly, but it's like water on the stone. Humanity has been formatted.
Programmed. Yeah.
So, programmed. Yes, programmed. Thank you, Juliet. Je parle français, so thank you. So, that's going to take time. You're going to need to be 100% dedicated, like we have as elders been. And we are there to support you if you need to. So I'm giving you back to Juliet.
Yeah, so it's about us really breaking out of that programming. And the easiest way is to turn off the TVs and don't go to those sources. But when you're insecure and you're fearful, then you get hooked in like, oh, let's turn on the TV, see what the news is. But we've been conditioned to watch the news. And it's quite interesting. I was looking last night, and apparently watching the news is being used in primary schools in the UK for small children, training them on, I don't know exactly what they're meant to be trained on, but watching the news is part of the curriculum. I mean, that's shocking, the conditioning that's being rolled out to primary school children. But we have been programmed and conditioned in this way for about 3 generations now through media sources, and with a deliberate intention to program us.
Okay, so how about moving away from those programs? My feeling is right now, as we are absolutely moving, I mean, these are the changes, and what is very, very, very contracting and difficult right now is the planets, the constellations. This is astrology. We're having squares. Squares is 90 degrees. It's like we are having tremendous amount of transpersonal energies, like Pluto is breaking the old form, breaking the old institutions, breaking the way the government's power over, with Saturn that was in Capricorn, who's now moved into the age of Aquarius. So he's going to support the changes, the future, with uncertainty. And that's squaring Uranus, who is bringing the new rebellion, totally non-conventional, the spirit of freedom, and that beautiful, beautiful energy of humanitarianism. We belong to a global planet, and each of us are responsible. How do I respond when someone is in distress? Well, my response is solidarity. I am there. So we are going to see these energies playing out in 2021. However, the hope is we are consciously evolving. This is planet Earth. She, like us, we are moving. We're shifting onto a totally different frequency of life. And that is why it's so painful, because our DNA is changing. Our bodies are changing. Many of us, someone earlier on, Joanne, you spoke about do vegans, eat meat. Maybe things are going to be changed within your body, Joanne. But maybe not. But the key here is just to surrender to that higher process with consciousness. So instead of fighting with those squares of energies, those tension, those contraction, let's create spaciousness. So my friend Juliet's work is about trauma healing. So is mine in a different way, because I'm more a psychic and medium, and I walk the shaman's path too as a woman. So it's different paths, but they all come together. So how can we create more spaciousness at this time when the past, how we have lived our life, we want to hang on to it, but it's breaking down, it's totally collapsing, but we're still hanging on to the straw as the straw bale is suddenly burning away, it's suddenly falling away. But we don't know yet what the future is going to be made of. Well, may I ask you, what value do you wish to offer to the new earth? What is your value, Emin? What about you, Philippe Chevalier, the knight in shining armor? And what about you, Joanne Harris? What is it that you wish to offer for this new earth? Because you are co-creator now. That's the key of the age of Aquarius. Each one of us, we are creating our reality. And that's a very profound thought. What is it that you value? What is it that you long to create? So what about you, Juliet? What is it that you long to co-create?
Well, heaven on earth is what I long to create. Peaceful tribes, people communicating and cooperating together and taking care, and there being goodness and justice and truth and compassion. That we all are here together to live a beautiful life.
That's beautiful. That's so soft.
But this planet wasn't meant to be crazy conflict and pain and war. Those are things brought in by an evil agenda. That's not humanity. That's not us. That's not our way.
But it's breaking down now, isn't it? It is breaking down. And with the breaking down, of course, what it's doing is triggering our greatest fears. But it's the greatest gift, because the gift in disguise is we are there for each other. You're not alone, Enin. Philippe, you're not alone. And Joanne, you're not alone. Juliet, you're not alone. Mabi, you're not alone.
Yeah.
There's a tremendous global community of light workers who are choosing to be consciously aware and to be there at this time on earth when chaos is manifesting, because planet Earth is going through a portal of light. And this happens only every 12,500 years, thereabouts. The whole cosmos we belong to is coming and going through a photon belt. So we've never had so much light pouring through the skies, through the sun, through all the planets. Every planet is being heightened in its frequencies. And we are part of those planets. So what a gift. So can you receive the gift that you are alive today, at this time on planet Earth, witnessing the greatest change when we are going to be saying yes to being free. And I send that back to you, Juliet. Do you welcome that freedom?
Absolutely. That's all I've ever wanted in my life is that freedom. And as you spoke, it was really beautiful. The sun just came out full force. And yeah, it's really shining here in this moment. So
it's the same here. It's shining too.
Just at the same moment. And you're in France and I'm in England.
Yeah, it's the synchronicity. And you're going to discover as you start really shifting, making more spaciousness, instead of giving space to feed, to nurture your anxiety or your stress. When we're stressed, it contracts our lungs. This is a piece from Peter Levine, Dr. Peter Levine. It's like the alveoli in our lungs starts contracting and then we get lung infection. That has to do with stress and fear. But what I'm saying here, it's as we move our energy away from being entertained, being programmed, prevents you from being you, that unique being that you are. That goes for you, Philip. That goes for you, Joanne Harris. And that goes for you, Emin Ari. Wherever you are on planet Earth. That goes for each one of you, beautiful beings, listening to this. You are co-creating now, the new. And yes, let's welcome the uncertainty. That can be exciting. Instead of giving even our energy to fear, let's welcome uncertainty and trust that the beloved, that each one of us we are for each other, will hold each other's hand. I'm holding your hand.
Oh, so my phone just rang. I thought it was turned off. There's so much to grasp with this technology. It's really, so forgive us for our clumsy attempts to, but we'll get better at this. We're learning.
It's beautiful just as it is, because it's in its imperfection. It's got that beautiful humility that we are in our humanity. Yeah. When it's too perfect, we're not in our humanity, Juliet. So
anyway,
are we going to be saying goodbye to these beautiful people?
Yeah, we're going to say goodbye now, and please share, even if it's imperfect. Our words are from our hearts, and we would love to hear from you. So do send us any messages. You can find us. We both have Facebook pages and websites and
YouTube videos.
So I'm sure you can find us and reach out and share. So, you know, and do your own broadcast. I think if each one of us is doing a broadcast and just sharing out the message to support and help each other, this really builds that wave of light workers seeking to bring heaven on earth, or whatever your own personal vision is, your own personal creativity and freedom.
Yeah, so, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So
I'm going to say goodbye. And you are unique on Earth, and you are co-creating the new Earth. Don't undermine that power, because you are creating as you are, with your body, your being, your emotions, your mind, your thoughts. So make those absolutely most beautiful that you can manifest moment by moment.
Wonderful. Okay, so I have a technology problem here now, which I'm sure I'm going to move through seamlessly, is that I'm going to finish this live stream and then I'm going to turn off our recording of our videos. So bear with us if we anything wrong. But anyway, bye for now, everyone. Bye.
Blessed be. And you need to click the finish button.
Yeah, we'll click the finish button. We have to click two buttons. First the finish button and then the end the record button. So lots of love. Bye for now.
Bye.